A lot of snow, but the Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. For those of you who do not know, I am Maya McCole, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I am going to be talking about how to get your first TV news reporter job. So I have created a list of 10 tips that I think would be good for anyone who is interested in going into this industry, whether you are a recent college graduate or you're working in this industry but you're not in front of the camera, or you're working in a different industry and you want to chase your dreams of being in front of the camera and on television every day. Yeah, this video is for you. Just to give a little bit of background information, I am a television news reporter. So I graduated in May of 2019, and I actually received the offer to work at my station on graduation day. So I got my offer in May of 2019. I did have a couple of offers from other stations, but the station that I chose was the best one that was for me personally. And I decided to take that summer to intern at Complex Networks because I had already accepted the internship. So within the entire application process, I let it be clear that I was going to intern somewhere over the summer, but that was over in August and that I would be available near the end of August to begin working. So I made that clear beforehand, and my job didn't care. So I have been a news reporter since August of 2019 officially. The very first tip I would like to give is a pretty basic one, but I've recently found out that a lot of people don't know this. The first thing that you need to have outside of your resume and a cover letter is a reel. So a reel is when you compile a bunch of different packages and stand-ups together to submit to people and show people to showcase your talents. So within a reel, it might be maybe 5-6 minutes. Most news directors or news advisors or recruiters are only going to look at the first 30 seconds of this video. So the one thing that I would encourage you all to do when you're making a reel is to make sure that your best footage is at the beginning. If they're only watching 30 seconds of this reel, you want to make sure that in those first clips you look amazing, your script writing is amazing, the way in which you pronounce the words is amazing. Every single thing has to be perfect. This is what you're sending to everyone in all of the markets that you're applying to. So it's specifically important that the first part of your reel is you putting your best foot forward. So that's tip one. Tip two would be to make sure to put your reel on YouTube. I know there are some people who will go and they'll create a reel and then they'll put it on Vimeo, or they'll put it on their website, or they'll have it on a flash drive to show people in person. But the way in which I actually got my job is that the news advisor from my station found my reel on YouTube. He was searching for reels on YouTube from students from across the country, and my reel popped up because it had a pretty decent amount of views at the time. So he saw my reel and then reached out to me, emailed me saying, "Hey Maya, I saw your reel. I know that you're a May 2019 graduate. Do you have a job offer yet? Have you accepted an offer in a specific market?" I responded saying, "No, I haven't yet. I would love to learn more information about your station." And then he said, "Perfect, let's set up a phone interview." And then my process kind of went from there. So I didn't have to apply online and submit my reel and my resume and my cover letter and all that. But that was because my reel was posted on YouTube. It was public for people to see, and it had a little bit of traction, which is how he was able to find it. Tip three is to make good connections with your current employers. So whether you're interning at a major network, or you're interning at someplace local, or you're actually working somewhere, or you're just doing stuff for student media on campus, whatever you're doing, it's very important to make good connections with your supervisors, because within the job process, they're going to ask you for references, and then you're going to have to say, well, these are 3 people that can speak on my behalf, whether it be a personal reference or a work reference. But you want to make sure that it's people that you actually know are going to speak highly of you. So I would encourage you all to reach out to people that you're working with now that you have good relationships with. Ask them, "Hi, would you mind being a reference for when I start applying for jobs?" So that way they know that they're going to be getting calls and emails potentially. You should ask them to give you honest feedback about your reel, because you might look at it and think, "Wow, this is my best work. I did an amazing job." And then they'll look at it and say, "Well, your hair was kind of flying all over the place and it was distracting." or they may say, you were talking too fast the whole time, I had a hard time understanding you. The script was great, but I couldn't understand you because you were talking too fast, or you had the mic too close and I could barely hear you. You know, it's a lot of different things that we don't necessarily notice because it's ourselves, but once you look at someone else's reel, you'll instantly say, oh, they should have fixed that, they should have fixed that. Their microphone wire is showing. There's a lot of little things that other people will be able to tell and give you great feedback before you submit your reel to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs. So tip 5 is to make sure that you have a bomb resume, right? Now there are a lot of things that kind of go into making a good resume outside of just your experience. So the first thing is that you have to have great experience, for sure. You should have positions at the local student media in any way that you can. So if your school has a television station, you should try to become a reporter there, a producer, the general manager, whatever you can at your TV station. But I would also just encourage you to look into other types of media. If you're truly passionate about media, your skills will be transferable for the most part. So if you have a radio station at your school, I would encourage you to try to join the radio station as well, because you can at least say, like for me, for instance, I can say I had my own radio show. It was me and 3 co-hosts, and this is what we talked about every day, and blah, 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 blah. You know, you can kind of really give people a sense of your reporting skills. It's just a different type of media, but it's still media. Another thing for your resume is to also make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing. So don't have a bland resume that's just black and white and the columns are off or some of the rows are longer than other. You have to make sure that it's aligned. You have to make sure there are no typos or spelling errors. It should be organized to show that you pay attention to detail. So you decided to have this section for skills, this subsection for experience, this section for this. You have to really break it down and make sure that you're presenting something that shows that you're organized, you're detail oriented, and that you also have a lot of experience on top of that. Tip 6 would be to cast a wide net. So there are a lot of websites that you can go to online that will have a bunch of different job listings. So I would encourage you all to go on LinkedIn, to go on Indeed, to go on TV news jobs. There's a lot of different websites where as soon as you go on it, it'll have reporter, 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 anchor, 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 producer, producer. It'll have so many job positions that are available that you will get overwhelmed. I promise you, because I was overwhelmed. There are thousands of jobs out there, but there are hundreds of thousands of people applying to them. So I would just encourage you all to try to apply for as many jobs as you can on all of these sites, because once you do that, the more you apply, the more of a possibility you may hear back. But with that being said, I'm going to go into tip 7, which is when you apply, don't just cold apply, which is basically just you apply online and then that's it. Because 9 times out of 10, the news directors aren't really the people that are sitting down and reading all those applications. It's someone else. So what I would advise, which I didn't do this, but I have friends who did this and it worked for them, apply online and then they would look up that station's website, go find the news director and then email them and say, hi news director, I just applied for the reporter position that's opening. Here's my reel, here's my resume, here's the cover letter. I hope to hear back from you soon. And just from that, you're submitting all of your information to the top dog of the station. You may not hear back, but you might hear back. It can't hurt to submit all of your information to the news director after you've already applied to the positions online. That leads me to tip 8, which is to find a station that you're interested in working in and then just go on their website, right? Most stations on their website will say under the career section that they're hiring for a reporter, a producer, an anchor, whatever it is. But if they're not hiring, you can still reach out to the news advisor or the news director or HR or the recruitment team to try to just submit all of your information, because you never know when people's contracts are going to expire. Some stations have contracts where they're going to expire within the year of 2020 or within the year of 2021, and they just haven't posted the reporter job listing yet. So I would encourage you all that if you find a place where you would like to work, just to get ahead of the jump, get ahead of everyone else that's applying, just draft up a quick email and say, hi, I am so-and-so, I'm interested in this job. I know that you all don't have any openings right now, but when you do, would you please consider me? And they might read that and think, oh, this is perfect because it's May right now, this person's contract ends in June. We should post it on the website, but let me check their stuff out. And then you might be able to get a job that way. Tip 9 is to not be afraid of sending a follow-up email. And as I say this is definitely easier said than done. I always get very nervous about sending follow-up emails just because I don't want to annoy people or seem like I'm bugging them or I'm eager or I'm thirsty. But that mentality isn't one that we need to have. We need to switch it and think of it as being ambitious and being motivated, right? If you know that this is a position that you're interested in and that you know it's a place where you would like to work, just email them again and say, hi, just reaching out to confirm that you received this, blah, blah, blah. Or hi, I've recently updated my resume since I last reached out. Here it is attached. You can figure out a way to word it so that it won't come off the wrong way and that they genuinely will look at your stuff and hopefully respond. And then tip number 10, I cannot stress this enough. I repeat, tip number 10, I cannot stress this enough. Please, 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 do not lie on your resume or your application. There's a difference between finding new and creative words to describe your job description and completely elaborating or falsifying or making up what you did. When you're going through this job application process, you don't want to say that you're skilled in softwares you're not familiar with. Then they hire you, you get there, and they expect you to use that software that you've never used before. You don't want to say, well, I've anchored for 3 years at my school's television station. Then you get there, they ask you to anchor, and you don't know how to read a teleprompter. Within this job application process, I heavily encourage you all to just stick to your integrity. So don't make things up, don't over embellish, don't say that you did things that you didn't do, you're skilled in things you're not skilled at, you know this software that you don't know, you're in these organizations that you're not in. It's not only wrong and immoral, but you're going to be held to a certain level of expectations, and there will be consequences if you don't meet them, or most likely when you don't meet them. So tip 10 is just be yourself within this process. Within this TV news reporter application process, you're probably going to have a couple of phone interviews. You will have a writing test, whether it be them asking you to write a package or a VOSI, it just depends on the station. You might have a Skype or a Zoom interview depending on how the station is run, just because now that we're under quarantine, you can't really meet with people in person. So you might have a Skype or Zoom call. Depending on when the quarantine is over and the stay-at-home orders end, you might be able to go and tour the stations. So they'll pay to fly you out to wherever the station is. You can tour it, you meet all the people, you see how their daily routine goes, they put you up in a hotel. So those are my 10 tips as to how you can get a job as a television news reporter. I do hope that you all subscribe to my channel or like this video or comment below any questions or comments or concerns that you have. And once again, thank you all for watching. I love you all, and bye.